Hey, the arrow's telling me to go back. Take me back. Please, take me back. No! No! Not that way! No! Hey everyone, my name is Waffles. Welcome back to another Maplestory video. With the Awake patch finally arriving in GMS, I'm sure everyone is excited to try out their new 5th job skills, me included. And alongside the new 5th job skills and job balances, we also have a new event that will be with us until the end of January. Welcome to the Awake event, and while this event may look somewhat overwhelming with how much information is on the patch notes, this event is actually pretty simple. Majority of the information on the patch notes for this event is just information on the many different event shops. We're going to be taking a look at this event from top to bottom, covering the event shops, how to unlock them, and the Awakening Scroll ranking system. While an event that lasts all the way until the end of January would sound like a big time event, it still does follow the traditional system that many veterans of the game have grown accustomed to. This time around, there are 3 types of currencies that are used in the many different event shops: Awakening Coins, Bamboo Shoots, and for the first time, mesos are used in 2 of the event shops. Just like with many other events, you're going to want to try to keep up with the daily routine of coin capping, as there is a ranking system for this event. It's not exactly shown as a ranking system, but the way that you interact with the Awakening Scroll clearly does resemble one. Every Wednesday until this event comes to an end on January the 26th, a new quote-unquote rank becomes available, and along with the sweet rewards that you can get, certain rank ups will also give you access to some of the higher tier coin shops, which is where many of the more valuable items are housed. With a daily coin limit of 300 and 200 of those coins being spent on progressing in the Awakening Scroll every day, many players are recommended to cap coins on at least 2 different characters. One character to contribute to ranking up, and another to purchase items from the coin shops. And while many items from the early coin shop like Baigong's shop will be very cheap, there are items in Mangong's coin shop at the very top that will cost you an average of 1,000 coins per purchase. So do pay attention, especially since Mangong's coin shop, which is housing arguably the best items for this event, only becomes available about 2 weeks before the Awake event actually ends. To start this event, you're going to want to accept the Time for Awakening quest via the Star Notifier. Upon finishing the short chat dialogue followed by a small cutscene, you will gain access to the Awake event map and its contents. Now right off the bat, you're going to want to pick up a Sage Treasure quest called Baigong's Flute. Upon accepting the quest, you will acquire the Baigong's Flute skill, which is going to be the go-to way for players to get Awakening coins. By hunting monsters near your level out in the fields, you'll be able to collect Awakening auras, which in turn will give you Awakening coins. And while it isn't going to be the only way to get event coins, it is going to be the fastest out of the 3, clocking in at about 3 to 5 minutes with a Frenzy, 6 to 10 minutes with a Kishin or Wild Totem, and around 10 to 15 minutes without any spawn enhancers. Now this way of collecting Awakening coins will only be in effect until December the 15th, but we can safely assume that they will introduce more hunting quests for you to work with, revolving around the 2 other NPCs for the coin shop, Chungong and Mangong. As long as you accept the Sage Treasure quest when they come out, you should still be able to hunt monsters out in the field for Awakening coins. Every day you'll be able to get a maximum of 300 Awakening coins per character. These coins are used in the Decoration shop, the Awake coin shop, and the Awakening Scroll, which is the rank up system for this event. Upon opening the Awakening Scroll window, you'll notice a couple of things. The first of which is the training button at the very bottom. Every day you'll be able to spend 200 of your Awake coins in order to complete your scroll training for the day. This in turn will help you progress down the scroll in order for you to obtain the rewards listed. You'll start with Baigong's scroll and work your way towards unlocking Chungong's and then Mangong's at the very end. The very first scroll training that you do will require only 1 day of training. However, every other chapter of training will require 5 days worth of training, so try not to fall behind with these daily routines. Though there are a couple of reasons as to why you want to do training every day. Not only will training give you the Bamboo Shoots for you to spend in the Bamboo Shoot shop, but also completing the chapters for each part of the Awakening Scroll will give you some extremely rare items like growth potions, an event ring, a 17-star enhancement scroll that works on 160 equipment and below. There's even a growth potion that is actually disguised as a Typhoon growth potion, which is very nice. And completing the training for all the scrolls will reward you with a 14-day title which grants 20 attack and magic attack, 50 all stat, and 30 boss and IED, which is coincidentally very similar to the current temp stat title that we have, being the Agile and Agitated title from Haste. Additionally, continuing to train with the Awakening Scroll will eventually unlock more coin shops and the 2 meso shops. Speaking of shops, there are quite a few NPCs that you want to take note of on the event map. There are 4 different types of event shops that will slowly become available as you continue to train with the Awakening Scroll. The bamboo shop houses many useful items like infinite revitalizers, arcane symbols, power elixirs, event ring exclusive Meister cubes, and some sage pills. These pills are quite interesting. Each pill is dedicated towards something specific, from damage to normal monsters, to EXP gain, to even monster collection. And what's even better news is that all the items in this shop will restock every day. The decoration shop is also available right off the bat, and houses many of the cosmetic items like damage skins, chairs, and awakening tickets for the Tranquil Sage NX set, Rock Spirit Android, and the Awake Unit damage skin. What's interesting is that this time around you have the option of stockpiling these tickets on an alternate character and then transferring the redeemed product to a character that you would like to keep the item on, which means picking these tickets up on an alternate character will give you some leeway in the other shops. However, with this event literally going on for a bit over 2 months, you may not need to do such a thing. Really depends on how much stuff you plan on picking up from the higher up shops. This is also going to be the place where you can pick up one of 2 AFK chairs for this event. Now there are actually 2 different meso shops that you can purchase goodies from, but as of the time of this recording, neither are available to the player base right now. Mr. Fortune's meso shop will become available after unlocking the introduction to Chun-Gong's scroll, which will be available around mid-December. Chun-Hee's meso shop will be available after unlocking the introduction to Man-Gong's awakening scroll, which is going to be available around mid-January. But do keep in mind that these shops will only become available if you keep up with the training activity in the awakening scroll every day, which means if you fall behind in the training scroll, you'll also fall behind in unlocking these meso shops. As for the contents of the shop, well, Mr. Fortune's meso shop showcases many mounts and chairs, but some standout items include the Karma Flames, basically eternal flames that only work on untradeable pieces of equipment. Another item that stands out is that if you play in Reboot, you'll also find Arcane River droplets and Stone Origin droplets in this shop for 50 mil each. Whether these are actually worth it or not is dependent on the player, I guess. But do be mindful of the limited quantity of items in this shop. And for you non-Reboot players that are interested in buying those Rebirth Flames, do remember that the auction house does exist. And sometimes, if not all the time, it's actually going to be cheaper for you to snipe a couple off the auction house instead of buying them here in the meso shop. As for Chun-Hee's meso shop up at the very top, you can find some pretty interesting items here, albeit for a pretty expensive price. NX equipment like the Dragon Pop headband and preppy suspenders, Android ear sensor clips, which is pretty useful, and in non-Reboot you can also pick up some premium scrolls for weapon attack or magic attack. This is actually the first time we're seeing these premium scrolls in an event, so if you have the resources to spend, then definitely consider picking up the pet equip scrolls. But just like with Mr. Fortune's meso shop and the Karma Flames, make sure to compare the prices with the auction house, especially if you plan on picking up the magic attack variants, which are significantly cheaper. The last type of shop you'll be seeing from this event is the Awakening Coin Shop, which is actually split into 3 different NPCs. These 3 NPCs correspond to the 3 different tiers, each being unlocked at a different time. Baigong's Coin Shop is available right after you finish your very first training day in the Awakening Scroll, and houses items like node stones, arcane symbols, and even monster life gems. Just above Baigong's Coin Shop, we have Chun-Gong's Coin Shop, which will be available after unlocking the intro to Chun-Gong's Awakening Scroll, and houses many of your usual enhancement items that you would see in events, with the inclusion of weapon and magic attack scrolls for your pet equips. And what's interesting is that in this event specifically, these items are pretty healthy in stock, so be sure to pick up as much as you can. However, do note that there are a lot of items that have the Karma prefix under them, which means that they can only be used on untradeable pieces of equipment. And at the very top of the event map, beside Chun-Hee's meso shop, we have Man-Gong's Coin Shop. And while this shop is only going to be available upon unlocking Man-Gong's Awakening Scroll, which is basically mid-January, we do see some extremely rare items like Experience Node Stones, Black Rebirth Flames, Arcane Symbol packages, and even a couple of red and black cubes. We typically only see these items in events that stick around for about 2 months or so. Though do keep in mind that most of the items in these 3 coin shops are non-restockable. With there being a bunch of items that players are going to want to go after, it's completely normal and even recommended for players to gather coins on multiple characters in order to purchase as many items as they can. And while the event does go on all the way till the end of January, some players like myself will start probably losing their patience due to the daily coin cap of 300. And this goes for the Man-Gong Coin Shop too, as we see items that average about 1,000 coins per purchase. The good news is that obtaining coins this time around is actually very simple. As of this recording, there are 3 different ways of getting awakening coins, which can be separated into 3 different categories. I've already gone over Baigong's Flute, the hunting mission, which only goes on till mid-December, but don't worry because even though it's not listed in the patch notes, we will most likely get more hunting missions revolving around the other 2 sages, Chungong and Mangong. Alongside the hunting missions, we also have the AFK zone, which is a little bit hidden, but it does exist. And we also have some mini games like Rock, Paper, Scissors and Bingo that will come around at the 15 and 45 minute mark of every hour. As for bonus coins beyond the daily cap, we have the Sage Rock Training Ground. The AFK zone, or the Freeform Training Ground as it's called, can be found on the left side of the event map. When you head through the portal, you'll have the option of going back to where you were before or going here. You're going to need one of the training chairs that you can pick up from the decoration shop. The physical training chair will have a coin generation rate of about 1 every 5.5 minutes, meaning that even if you AFK'd for a full 24 hours, the most you would be able to obtain is about 260 coins. Meanwhile, the sparring chair will allow you to get to the daily coin cap of 300, clocking in at about 13 hours and 50 minutes from 0 coins to 300, which is basically double the efficiency of the physical training chair at 1 coin every 2 minutes and 45 seconds. But if you don't have the mobbing efficiency or the resources to gather coins efficiently on a meal, then definitely look to partake in the minigames that happen throughout the day. Minigame invitations will be sent to players at the 15 and 45 minute mark of every hour, and the minigame that you'll be playing will change based on how far into the event we are. From now till the start of December, the minigame in rotation will be Rock, Paper, Scissors. From December the 2nd to the 15th, Bingo will be in rotation, and we can definitely assume that there will be more minigames for us to partake in as the event continues into January. And while it's not going to be as efficient as wiping a map clean with hunting, it's definitely still pretty fun to partake in these minigames. This way of gathering coins also doesn't require you to have good enough gear to mob efficiently or have mesos to spend on the AFK chair. So for you reboot players that are looking to gather coins on an alternate character but don't have the damage, this will definitely be something that you look into. Alongside these 3 ways of obtaining awakening coins, we do have one way of getting coins beyond the daily cap. Over to the right side of the event map, you'll find Nogong, and upon speaking to him, he'll transport you to a map where you can challenge the Sage Rock Training Ground. Basically, this is just a giant target dummy that's there to soak up as much damage as possible. The more damage you're able to dish out, the more coins you'll be able to get, up to a maximum of 150 awakening coins every day. You can only claim the rewards for this on a single character every day, so it's recommended that you bring the strongest character you have into this. And that's pretty much everything that's going on with the Awake event. Well, at least this is what's going on until mid-December. But as this event continues on, there are most likely only going to be 2 things that change through the event. One being the name of the Sage Treasure hunting quest that we do, and the other being the type of minigame that you will be able to play. However, unlike many of the big scale events like Rise, the shop that you see on the event map will be with us all the way to the end of the event on January the 26th. And as if that wasn't enough, we also have some other events that are going on the side, which include 2 terror burning sessions, one going on right now, and another one that will start 2 days before Christmas. Burning World is also making a return, but one thing that you should be cautious about is that you can use your terror burning effect in Burning World, and if you choose to do so, you will be unable to terror burn on another world, so do be careful. We also have some very notable Sunny Sundays coming up for the Awake event. Along with the coin limit being doubled from 300 to 600 every Sunday, we also have a 50% off ability reset on December the 6th, 30% off Star Force event on December the 13th, and there are rumors of a 5, 10, 15 Star Force event during the Awake event, but it's not listed in the patch notes, so if there is a 5, 10, 15 that is planned, it will most likely be between December the 20th and January the 24th. Overall, this event is jam-packed full of items that players are going to want to get their hands on as soon as possible, but with how the Awakening Scroll is designed, it does stress that you keep up with your dailies, as falling behind can easily set you back in terms of making your way to accessing the higher tier shops. At the end of the day, there was a lot to digest in one patch. The new 5th job skills, skill balances, and even MVP Red coming out as well. And we have even more coming, with Celis on its way, Zero Creation becoming available in Reboot, and of course familiar improvements, which I personally am very excited for, because with more changes to familiars comes more opportunities to make them buggy. Am I right?